Polar Pro just released its new quick draw system, which includes a minimalist tripod, a camera strap, and a strap mount. They were kind enough to hook me up with this gear a few weeks before it was released for testing. This video is not sponsored and I'm not being paid to say anything specific about these products. I took the quick draw system out into the outdoors of the Pacific Northwest, and today I'll be sharing my initial thoughts on what I liked about the gear, who I think it's for, and what I would improve upon in the future on this equipment. I'm not gonna be sharing specs, not spec guy, but if you want the specs, I'll link them below. This system is definitely a perfect match for the right kind of creator, so stay tuned to see if that's you. If you're digging this video, click the thumbs up. We have the Apex Pro level minimalist tripod. What I like about this tripod is that it is super small and it is super light. So for reference, this is my Yeti cooler mug. It's not a cooler, it's a freaking mug. It's a mug, and here it is, size comparison, super small, love that. It's also very strong, which you can tell from me knocking on it, right? But no, seriously, the legs are strong. Everything about this is sturdy. I also thoroughly enjoy how easy it is to connect your camera to this system. And once it's in there, it feels very stable. The other thing I really like about this configuration is you can adjust these legs and almost use this tripod as a shoulder rig, and you can get a lot more stability out of your shots by having multiple points of contact when you're filming. So going out into the field as a minimalist filmmaker, this is super useful. The amount of configurations with these legs is plentiful. If you like what you're hearing, subscribe below. And it's worth a quick comparison. So I previously was using this Joby frequently, and now I'll probably be using this Apex frequently, but they have different values and different skills. But in terms of stability and using it as a little mini shoulder rig kind of when you're filming, this is what I'm gonna use. The only benefit that I really love about the Joby that I wasn't able to get out of the Apex is that I like to take this Joby and get these POV shots where I wrap this around my neck and then I film and I have this POV element to my filmmaking. So I like that about the Joby. That's kind of like a one little random thing about it that doesn't work for me. Probably doesn't matter to most people. So who is the Apex tripod for? I can see photographers using this in the field when you need something super small to bring with you in your bag that's really light. I can see vloggers using this to film and vlog like that. I think that this could be perfect for a vlogging setup and actually like really robust and strong. And then I think a minimalist filmmaker could use this, and like I mentioned before, using it as both a tripod, but more so as a stabilizer, almost like a little shoulder rig that you can bring that's freaking tiny. If you're looking for valuable tools to help you become a successful freelance filmmaker, I have a ton at nixfort.com/shop. Producer kit, contract kit, client kit, pricing worksheet, cinema LUTs, all that good stuff. Go check it out. So things that I don't love about this, first thing right here is there's a little point here that you can tighten with an Allen key, and I feel like I crank down on this thing and it still kind of moves. So maybe I'm just not cranking down enough. Maybe I need to crank down more. Son of a... See, this is why I don't like this thing. I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like, yeah, it's a little more solid, right? So you really got to crank down on this back part to make that stay. But it's also kind of nice if you're doing photos to be able to loosen that up and do the the vertical composition. Or maybe you're Jesse Driftwood and you want to tighten this shit up so you can make your vertical videos, you know, like that. And you can be like, eh. The tilt lock legs on this are very strong and sturdy, but they're definitely a little like cumbersome and a little annoying to like have to go around, you screw it in and you unscrew this, and it takes a little bit more time. I think that as you practice with it, it might become faster, but the speed at which this happens is not my favorite thing about the tripod. The last thing I don't love about this tripod is the size of it. The size of it is, yeah, super convenient and really nice for some of the applications that I talked about. If Polar Pro makes a version that integrates with this quick mount system of a tripod that extends and has, you know, like a 5 foot, 6 foot height, then I'm gonna be really interested into committing to this quick release system with the base plate that we have on my camera that integrates with all this other stuff. Then I'm gonna be super stoked, because right now I have a shoe on the bottom of my camera that connects to this, and it connects to the other pieces in the kit, but it doesn't connect to a bigger tripod. So if I'm out in the field, I'm gonna have to take that plate off and then put a different one on to go on another tripod. And I'm not like thrilled about that. What do you think? Drop a comment below. So then we have the Belay Camera Strap, and this camera strap is super nice. I've never owned a quick release camera strap, but I am stoked to have tried one out now. Really simple, click in like that. It took me a little while to like trust that it wasn't gonna go anywhere, but it's a solid build. So it's definitely sturdy. And then I love how it lays against your body configured on the bottom versus up here on the 2 contact points on most cameras. It kind of like has an awkward side angle and it like bounces around. This is really nice. I feel like it just feels good against your body when you're walking. And I do love that. And I love how fast you can just, boom. That's awesome. And then I love this camera strap in terms of it being adjustable. You can go like that and you can really configure it to be good for you and where you need it to be really, really quickly. And then I do love that it has this single mounting point on the bottom of the camera. That is a little bit of a love-hate relationship in regards to if I need to use a bigger tripod, like I mentioned earlier, that is gonna require me to take this off, and that's gonna be a pain in the butt, versus if something was connected up here, I could still have my camera straps on the camera. So who is this for? I think it's for photographers that need that speed of releasing the camera, documenting a moment, and then getting back to it. So like hiking, I found it super useful when I went on a hike. I think if you were filming any sort of documentary content, it'd be really, really nice to be able to go from not shooting to shooting and have it be really comfortable. And then in terms of filmmaking and videographers, if you're doing a minimalist filmmaking vibe, then this is critical and super nice to integrate with the tripod and the Traverse backpack strap. And the same goes for vlogging. Like if you're vlogging and you integrate the whole system together, this would be really, really useful for, you're just going around and it's just makes it easy to not be fumbling around with your equipment. In terms of improvements, this camera strap is a little thin, not amped on that, but they do make a premium strap. So if you're buying this and you don't like a thin strap, they make a thicker one. I'm used to a thicker one, so I would prefer a thicker strap. I'm sure I'll get used to this, but that sort of is my initial thought on the strap. And then the last thing, it took me a little while to like trust this. It is sturdy. It is a strong build. But at first I was super apprehensive to trust that this was gonna hold my camera, but it does. So I don't have to really worry about that anymore. If you're finding this helpful, please share this video with someone else who will also find it helpful. And then we have the Traverse strap mount that is right here. And this is super nice. Clicks right in. You can lock it up here. It has a 2-stage system. So if you have it locked, it's not coming out. If you unlock it, you can just rotate it out super quick with one hand. And when it's locked, it feels really strong and stable. It makes having your camera accessible while you're out shooting with a bag, which happens to me all the time. Sometimes I bring my backpack, sometimes I don't. If I don't bring my backpack, I'm gonna be using this strap. And if I do bring my backpack, I'm gonna be using this configuration. And I'd probably throw the strap in the bag in case I set the bag down and wanna go run and shoot something else. I can see this being for photographers that are out in the field shooting documentary stuff, need to be able to access their gear really quickly. This makes a lot of sense. And the same thing for minimalist filmmakers and vloggers. If you're bought into the system as a whole, this is super useful and I feel like it would be a good tool. I don't really have any improvements in terms of the build necessarily. I think it is nice, it feels strong, but the 2-stage setup, if you have this slider to the left, there's a little white arrow and that means that it's secure. If I slide it to the right, there's a little red indicator, which means that I can release it with one hand. And that's pretty cool, but it also makes me nervous that I might leave it in the red zone and I might bump it or something and it might fall out. I don't worry about that when it's locked and secured via that, but there is something about that part that is a little nerve-wracking. If you like what you're hearing, subscribe below. Overall, if you are looking for a durable, strong, and lightweight system that has a quick mount feature and you're doing photography or minimalist filmmaking or vlogging or a combination of those things, it's worth your time to check this out. This system might be a really good fit for you. I think that that category is going to benefit greatly from this. Polar Pro is doing a special release bundle price of $199 for all three. And if you want to buy them individually, I will link all of that below so you can dig deeper and find out if it's a good fit. And then individually, I think the Belay and the Traverse are $69 and the Apex tripod is $129. So if you're interested in checking it out, go check it out. And if you're not, well then hopefully you enjoyed this video for some other reason. I don't know. If you watched it this far and you're not going to go check it out, then that's a bit weird. Bit weird.